Earthquakes. Did you know that there are about 20,000 earthquakes recorded in the whole world every year? About 50 a day. Well, you may not be aware, but there may be an earthquake happening right now while you are watching this. How does that happen? Well, for today's video, we're gonna discuss everything about earthquakes. So welcome! We are the Foresight Organization, and today we're gonna bring you the science and importance about the world beneath us.
Right off the bat, syempre magsisimula tayo sa pinaka-importanting tanong sa lahat. At ayun ay ang, what are earthquakes? Or, ano nga bang earthquakes? Well, according to USGS or United States Geological Survey, an earthquake is the shaking of the surface of the earth, resulting from a sudden energy from the earth's lithosphere that creates a seismic wave. Or in short, ang earthquake ay yung pagyanig o paggalaw ng lupa. Ngayong alam na natin ang kahulugan ng earthquake, tatalakayan naman natin ngayon kung paano nga ba nagsisimula ang earthquake at bakit nga ba may earthquake?
So how and why the earthquakes occur? Earthquake mostly occurs when the rock in the Earth's crust break due to the sudden movements of tectonic plates. This movement causes a tectonic earthquake. Another major cause of earthquakes are volcanic activities. This type of earthquake is called volcanic earthquake. Some are minor causes of earthquake which are called collapse and explosive earthquakes. Collapse earthquakes are small earthquakes in underground caverns and mines, and explosion earthquakes result from the explosions of nuclear and chemical devices. When and where do earthquakes occur? Most earthquakes happens near plate boundaries where most volcanic activities and plate movement usually occurs. Like I said earlier, earthquakes usually happens when there is a sudden movements of plates and when there is a volcanic activity. 80% of all the planet's earthquakes occur along the rim of Pacific Ocean called the Ring of Fire because of the volcanic activity there as well. Earthquakes happens every day, but we cannot feel it because the magnitude is too low. Earthquakes that can be felt usually has 2.5 and above magnitude.
The National Earthquake Information Center, or NEIC, records an average of 20,000 earthquakes occurs every year around the world, and that is about 50 earthquakes a day. However, millions of earthquakes estimated to occur every year that are too weak to be recorded. On average, magnitude 2 and smaller earthquakes occur several hundred times a day across the globe, while major earthquakes that has magnitude of 7 happened at least more than once for every month. Great earthquakes, or magnitude 8 and higher, occur just about once a year. Recently, PHIVOX recorded a notable magnitude this October 2020. On the 1st of October, at exactly 6:10 in the morning, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.3 occurred in Bayabas, Surigao del Sur. Also, in October 5, a magnitude 5.6 was recorded in Looc, Occidental Mindoro. The most common risks and dangers of earthquakes are the destruction of buildings, roads, and bridges. An average of 60,000 deaths a year, around 90% of which occur in developing countries. Most of the deaths are caused by falling debris from a collapsing building. That is just some of the common risks we know, but there is much more horrifying things that might happen because of an earthquake. We also have Marikina Valley Fault System, or Valley Fault System here in the Philippines. There is an anticipated 7.2 magnitude earthquake known as the Big One. When the Big One comes, the Metropolitan Manila Earthquake Impact Reduction Study, or MMEIRS, predict that it will destroy bridges around the metro and damage public buildings. Cut off from other cities, at least 34,000 people are predicted to die and 170,000 residential houses will collapse.
Moving on, here are some things you need to prepare and remember in case of an earthquake. Syempre, hindi natin alam kung kailan mangyayari ang earthquakes, kung kaya't ay dapat lagi tayong handa. Meron tayong 5 different types of safety precautions depende sa sitwasyon na maranasan natin na lagi natin dapat tandaan. A. Before an earthquake occurs. To lessen the damage of an earthquake, you need to fasten shelves securely to walls, store breakable items in low closed cabinets, teach family members how to turn off gas, electricity, and water, teach children how to dial emergency response hotlines, and most importantly, have a disaster supplies on hand. Flashlights, extra batteries, first aid kit with manual, emergency food, water, cash, and other necessities. B. During an earthquake, indoors. Take a cover beneath a sturdy piece of furniture or against an indoor wall away from glass that might break. Duck cover and hold. Stay inside. The most dangerous thing you can do during an earthquake is to try and leave immediately. C. During an earthquake, outdoors. Move into open space, away from buildings, street lights, and overhead utility wires. Stay there until shaking stops. D. During an earthquake in a moving vehicle. Try to find a clear area away from buildings, trees, overpasses, and overhead wires. Stop quickly and stay in vehicle. Once earthquake stops, proceed with precaution for bridges and ramps may have been damaged during the shaking. Lastly, E. After the earthquake. Be prepared for there may be aftershocks. Help the injured or trapped persons within the limits of your abilities. Stay out of damaged buildings. Use telephone only for emergency calls. Help the elderly and disabled or children who may need special help. And lastly, check utilities for damage. That's all. Always be sure to be safe and aware.
If there an accident or something bad happened during an earthquake, you can contact the following number. For the Red Cross, dial 0905-145-6217, and for the Fire Protection, 0929-351-0068.
Here are some of the emergency hotlines in case of an emergency.
Now we will give you some websites that can give you reliable information about the earthquakes. So first, we have the earthquakeready.gov. In this website, you can find some information on how to prepare before an earthquake and steps on what to do during and after an earthquake. They also provide some extra information like videos of earthquake drills and many PDF files that will sure come in handy. The next website that we will show you is www.phivolcs.dost.gov. The Phivolcs has a website that you can browse to see the recent earthquakes in the Philippines. It also provides information about the volcanoes and tsunamis. They monitor the activities of different natural disasters and also warnings if it is necessary.
Overall, that is everything for this video. We hope that you have learned something from us today. And on a side note, we have created a special brochure just for you. The links will be down below for you to download in case for emergency. In there, we have included the things you need to know, prepare, and also things to remember in case of an earthquake. Like the saying goes, it's always better to be safer than sorry. That's all for today. We thank you for watching. We are the Foresight Organization and we wish you good luck and God bless.